Good evening and welcome to the Public Service Committee meeting of August the 12th, 2025. Time is 5:32. First item on the agenda is the approval of minutes from our July the 8th meeting. Were there any changes or modifications?
No, I would make a motion to approve the minutes from the July 8th meeting.
Okay, and I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Minutes from our July the 8th meeting have been approved. Next item on the agenda is public participation. Seeing none, we'll move directly into the water project updates.
Okay, that'll be me. Thank you, Mr. Segmeyer. The brief update here, we have a project going on that we saw some flags here for a while. Replacement of water lines on good and high streets, like the two phases. And I bring that up. We're still working on the design. It's likely going to be starting construction in mid-2026. But something that just had come up is we had done some survey work for that. And that survey work we were able to use on another project I'll mention later. So it was kind of a nice resource savings to be able to take all the data we found and what we're able to use the money on, or the resources on is, we have a project that has just now gone to bid to go dig holes and verify lead services, both on public and private sides. And so those curb box locations are going to help the contractor save money to know where those are. So we were able to get those off the surveys and be able to use those resources. So it's kind of a nice benefit to save some costs. So we got good bids. We have two bid openings that just happened this last week. One is for this lead service verification, which is digging holes, verifying the pipe type by EPA mandate, and I believe those are due in 2027. We have approximately 3,000 to 3,500 of those to verify physically. That we'll likely have to go actually dig a hole to look at the pipes. And this project here that we just went to bid will be about 1,000 of those 3,000. So we still have ways to go. It was just to make progress. So that was that. The other project that had gone to bid was our bulk water fill station. We had another requirement to construct this place to fill water trucks at the wastewater treatment plant. So that bid process is completed. We are able to work out to get a good bid. Local contractor, Kavanaugh, which was the same one who's done some other projects here. So we're looking forward to working with them to get that started. They have a water main to replace that's a small part of this larger water looping project that's a project for next year. And so they're going to do the first part of that project and then this bulk water fill station. And that should all be done, the water main should be done this year, and then the bulk water fill station will be live in the spring.
Okay.
So the last project I want to mention just real quick is we have a deficiency in our water storage in the city, and so we have been doing an analysis to look at the size and location of a potential water tower, and we have just now gotten some preliminary information from that. We should have a final recommended location in the next month. So that's in process. So that's been ongoing for a few months, and we're getting close to being done with that siting stuff.
With the extra heat that we've had and, well, at one point too much rain and then lack of rain for a while, what normally tips the scale for us putting in the watering ban? The watering ban we've had in the city,
It's been gone for years.
Yeah, well, it was used here a few years back, but I wasn't sure if,
No, it's been 15 years at least.
oh, I thought
It's been at least
I
15
didn't
years,
think it was
ever
like-
since we got the water line from Doylestown.
That's right.
Back
They
in
dropped that off,
2008. I think it was
you're right.
2008.
Because I thought in the late
Memory
teens,
serves me
I
right.
thought in the late 18 or 19, we had to implement it, so, okay. That's not in, okay.
Don't believe so.
Okay,
No, I think-
okay.
I'm not even sure that we have-
2010, 2011
Oh,
was the
that
last
longer.
time. It's
Okay.
been at least 14, 15 years since
Okay.
it was implemented, I know.
Okay.
The odd even,
Odd even side of the,
Yeah. Street.
addresses, yeah.
Certainly this tower would reduce the need for that in
Yeah.
a situation where it is water.
do you think the removal of the overlook site has anything to do with this problem? Because we've got altitude control valves now on all the towers, don't we? So we can fill all the towers properly. Before, we couldn't fill the towers properly because we didn't have altitude control valves. So this would be because of the different elevations, because water finds its own level, but I thought we worked on that project 10 years ago.
So, yeah, so this particular issue is the low side.
Oh, it's just, okay, so it's, yeah,
So
okay.
we had a PRV project that was gonna help, and we figured out that that was a much better investment to just
Right.
put the second tower in, to augment that storage.
Okay.
For just to piggyback on Mr. Davis' comment, Mr. Copley, Mr. Stubbs, there's still an issue of concern with the low side. You know, if we had a major fire incident, or if we had some other trouble in the connection between the high side and the low side, it would not take long with moderate water usage, let's say normal water usage, and we'd be in a problem on the low side of the city.
It's been that way for
And
years.
and so I just want to make sure that I echo that. Part of that process is not just the water tower and its placement and construction ultimately on the low side, but it's also the connection through the downtown. Probably major on the minds of us here at the city as to why the downtown infrastructure project is important, because it helps with that connectivity ultimately to a tower site and through the interconnection valve here in the downtown area. So that's important to us. If I might also go back to one other item of clarity, just to add, only because I may have confused myself in listening to Mr. Davis. The bulk water fill station project is the actual fill station EPA mandate, but also a portion of the water main adjacent to the fill station. So that is a part of the water looping project, but we kind of bumped it up because it made sense in order to feed the station properly, the bulk water fill station. We wanted to do that work now, and it made a lot of sense to us. And we talked to the committee and council about that. So just want to make sure that. So the other part of the looping main will still need to be done after
2026.
That's correct. Yep.
Have any updates on the Tolbert project?
It's going along nicely. I just saw a report that I believe we completed one of the halves, one of the other half, I believe one completed west, now on east, I think it is.
Okay.
So, yeah, the project is going along quite well from everything I've heard.
Okay, because I'm about due to get a call from down in that area, so I just wanted to be able to give them an update.
Yeah, we ran into a couple lead lines, we knew about those, just a few details that are typical.
Speaking of lead lines, do we still have the card file system that we used 25, 30 years ago? I mean, because you could go up there and pull a card and see what every connection was, you know, how it was fed and everything like that.
Yeah,
Does that still exist?
Over at Water Distribution.
Yeah, Water
and
Distribution.
Collections, it still exists. They have been slowly moving towards a more technologically advanced system, but all of what was there up to a certain date and time, I don't know that off the top of my head, is still there, kind of thing. So they don't necessarily update the hand cards anymore, although they do if they don't have it in electronic format yet.
But I just thought that may help us find the lead,
It does.
you know,
That's
because
what-
there was a lot of information in that card. I mean, it was huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what Mr. Shriver and his team used as a starting point for some of the analysis as to where to look, what to know, what to look for in terms of different areas. That and their crew's expertise on what they've come across in different neighborhoods. Yep. Yeah, that system was pretty amazing from a hand card system.
From a hand card system, it was great.
I mentioned 3,000 holes are needed, but there was a lot of them we didn't need because of that.
Because that card
Right.
system,
Yeah.
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 And I know they were scanning and trying to digitize those away. And of course, with the number there, that takes quite a while because, you know, it's them that's doing it. If they're doing something else, they can't do that. So yeah, it's quite a process there.
That's exactly right. They were sort of digitizing those records to the best of their ability. Because there was so much work and effort in it, I think we're all a little reluctant to totally get rid of it because
Right.
there's still value in some of that historical information
Oh, yeah.
that isn't. And I'm not certain, although by now maybe they did, but I'm not certain as of a couple of years ago they hadn't digitized everything yet. So
Yeah, I don't think I'd get rid of it. I'd find someplace to store it.
yes, yeah, agreed.
Because even if you scan them, or something happen electronically, now we are in trouble. You know, that's just a good old fashioned backup, you know?
You'd have it up to a certain point.
Yeah, right.
It's called redundancy.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, Mr. Day, on the Tolbert project, project, you know, with stage we're at now, projected completion, roughly?
The original plan was November.
Yep.
And that's still on schedule?
Okay. Okay, all right. All
I
right.
wouldn't be surprised if they don't run into anything on this other section, that they don't wrap that up a little bit earlier than that.
Yeah, so far at least on time at this
Yep.
point, so, okay, all right,
Now that it just jinxed us, but,
all right. Anything further, Mr. Davis? Okay, we'll move on to stormwater.
Skip
No.
wastewater.
Skip-
Oh, I'm sorry, yep, wastewater project, sorry.
Okay, I'll discuss that. So I mentioned in the past, and I don't want to keep telling the same stories, but it's good to kind of revisit. We have these sanitary sewer overflows, these 10 sanitary sewer overflow areas in this plan over 15 years to mitigate the infiltration and inflows causing those overflows. And so the initial work was done in areas 2 and 3, and now there's been 5, 7, 10. There's different numbers that are associated with these areas. Well, anyway, so the most recent project is we've gone out to do smoke and dye testing for areas 6 and 8. Now we are waiting for a cost proposal from a consultant to do that smoke and dye testing on those 2 areas. Well, it so happens that there was some recent flooding
I was
that
gonna bring
backed
that
up
up.
some basements. And that is in SSO Area 4. And the SSO Area 4, we've now expedited, and
Good.
we're gonna try to add that to that
Good.
cost proposal, just to make sure that we can figure out what's going on with that, which was not expected, but now we know that's an issue, at least it could be, so that's something I'll be getting here in the next couple of weeks.
No, I think that's very important. I've heard pieces of it, I'm still gathering information on it, but I guess some of the property owners were quite upset.
Yeah, McEntee Drive is the majority.
McEntee,
Yeah,
Red
we're-
Rock,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
We're still assessing what we know, and it's, there's not a lot of
Yeah.
information. It does appear that there was just an extraordinary amount of water that broke open in that
Oh,
neighborhood.
yeah, there was, I mean, there's people, one person I talked to said there was water 2 foot, spout 2 foot
Yeah.
high coming out of his basement drain.
Yeah, it was just an
blowing.
enormous amount of, so we don't have, the rain gauges aren't quite that isolated, so we're still trying to figure that out.
Well, what I was gonna do is say maybe we should drop one of those other areas and move that area in, depending on funding,
Yeah, and so the.
since we know there's an issue there.
Yeah, there's a timeline mandate from the EPA that we have to march along and make sure we don't miss. But yeah, so we're essentially adding that to everything else. We're trying not to delay too much to miss those deadlines. So, but certainly without, the neighbors would appreciate.
Yes, most definitely, the residents would appreciate it.
if I could just piggyback on that, I think, Mr. Copley, it's a good comment, and we're ahead of what we're trying to do dealing with this last storm event, but I think it's important to make sure that SSO 4 was an identified area, but it had next to nothing in terms of SSO 4 remediation requirements. So whatever happened during this last, what I'll call a storm event, certainly triggered something that we did not have knowledge of in our records. In fact, there was no planned remediation efforts or I&I
Oh, there
related
was
studies
nothing,
for that McAtee area. So we were kind of, well, I'll say it, we're caught off guard because we had no expectation of that being an SSO problematic area. So just talking about it internally, was there something that clogged the particular areas up there that caused this backup in a couple of areas of the homes? Did that clog let loose at some point and go through that? So is it a sustainable area of interest? We don't know. That's why we want to get somebody in to do some testing on it. Or is it a problem area that was missed for some reason down the road? Because we don't have a long track record or history of those types of complaints or concerns coming in up in that area. So just a little bit further background. That's
Do
all.
we have the red zone stuff that we paid for 4 or 5 years ago? Have we looked through the red zone for that area to see if there was any
Yeah.
notable, issues?
Those have been used as part of this process, yeah.
Okay.
Was there anything that showed in those, I guess, is the follow-up
We
question.
have not looked at those videos for this.
Because we paid a big chunk of money for those,
We do have those.
so if we could look back through those, maybe that'll give you some idea,
That'll be part of what our consultant would use to analyze.
Okay.
And again, in general, I don't know record-wise what might be there, whatever. A lot of the engineering, or wasn't there, but back in 2010, it was Father's Day, because I lived over there, we had a 2 3/4 inches of rain in an hour. And this was on Allen, which is just, you know, in that same general area. And a lot of the same issues. There were basement floors just down the street from me that buckled from the hydrostatic pressure back in 2010. Now again, it was a cloud burst that happened just over that area, 2 miles north, 2 miles south. They got normal rain. But back in 2010 or 11, that same type of an event happened over there. So if there's any kind of records from back then of if there was a cause that was found other than just, it was a 100-year storm, I don't know. But that happened in that time frame, in that same area.
That's interesting because it sounds very characteristically similar to this last event, because other areas of the city did not receive
Right.
a large magnitude or volume of rain in a short period of time. But that particular, let's call it a cloud burst or storm burst, whatever it was over that McEntee Red Rock area, certainly certainly triggered something.
Yeah,
Mr. Davis did a nice job, and before I could catch him on the Monday afterwards, he was already on top of looking at, can we add that area into the next round of testing and see what we can do.
And Mr. Testa, we may not want to give up on the Stormwater Commission quite yet.
Yes,
Yeah.
agreed.
With the basement, the basement. So as soon as you said, let's back off on that, we have 100 years.
Well, we just talked about it last month.
Yeah.
We did reach out to all those property owners. One of our inspectors-
Yeah, I was told that
So-
you guys had been very good going out and talking to them and everything. I expected to see some of them here tonight, to be honest with you.
A couple of them have reached out there, and you certainly, there's a little bit of frustration in their voice.
Yes,
So,
but they know you're working on it. That's the main thing.
yeah, we really are. So, okay, and a couple of things. So this SSO program, we have one project that is just completed, which is the lining of the areas 2 and 3. And so just to make sure it's going back to some of these definitions, there's 2 different aspects of this SSO program of how to remove the stormwater from inserting into the sewers. One of them is what's called direct inflows, which is like a catch basin connection going into a sewer pipe. So those need to be disconnected and reconnected to a storm. That's called direct inflows. And then the lining project is essentially this cracks and failures in the pipe that are letting groundwater to infiltrate directly into the pipe. So that's through these lining solutions. And so there's 2 different categories of solutions, one being direct inflow, one being lining. So the lining for 2 and 3 is now complete. So, yay, we're making progress, but there's a lot left to do. So the next series of projects that we have a consultant working on right now, they've given us a preliminary report, is 2, 3, 5, 7, and 10. 7 and 10 is portions of downtown. So they're coordinating with our downtown project to make sure that those are all being addressed. Because for example, if you have a cracked, leaky sewer pipe under our downtown roads, we would hate to not fix that, pave the roads, and then all of a sudden they have a scar that they have to go back and cut it out later. So we're trying to work all those things out. So all of our the teams we're working on this are all working together to make sure we hopefully don't miss anything. So that process is moving forward. We expect to start construction on those, some elements of the 2, 3, 5, 7, and 10 project in early next year. So that construction's going to be early 2026 once we kind of get that scope. We're still working on that scope of work, and through the winter we'll be creating construction drawings to do both lining and these direct inflows. And then I think just the last thing I will mention is we have a lid replacement project that we're in the middle of right now, and that will also be likely going to bid here early next year. And so that's continuing as we go. I think that. One more thing. We've kicked off a wastewater master plan. I think I mentioned that before. And one thing I want to make sure that you're aware of is that this just came up where somebody needed to know how big of a pipe do I build, or what kind of analysis do I need to do. And so by doing the master plan, we will be able to save developers, property owners money, because when they want to develop, often they'll have to do the sewage study themselves. And so by doing it kind of as a whole, we can then help case by case save money in the long run, by not having to do it every time somebody wants to do something, right? Do them all at once. So,
And save time for them too. I mean,
yeah, it just came up, somebody wanted to know, what do I build there? And I don't have this ready yet. And so if I had this, I could just say, put it in a 15-inch pipe. But otherwise, without this, they have to have, their engineer has to do a whole analysis of the whole thing, which our person's doing. So just an example of ways that we're trying to essentially spend money to save money, basically.
Makes sense.
Right.
Makes sense. Now, is that a 10, 15-year plan? The master plan? What's the projection?
Most master plans are 20-year plans.
20 years?
normally.
Okay, good.
Yeah, and normally what comes out of them is a capital improvement plan that we would be able to anticipate what we're looking for projects, and then also kind of a development strategy, so that as these areas develop, make sure that we have a good strategy to get sewers to where developing areas might need them.
All right. Nothing further on wastewater. Now we can move to stormwater.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. There's not a report per se. I will mention that one of the things that we've been working on as part of the tax budget and will continue into the appropriations budget is identifying specific projects or pieces or elements of projects or assets that are related to stormwater to use as a basis for building out a stormwater capital plan, which will then inform the commission's decisions on what they do with a stormwater assessment rate.
Okay. All right, nothing further. We can go to electric. First item on there is just an update on the EV charging station. I know we're in month 2 of our 3-month initial analysis here. I believe we were going to September when we were going to start talking about where we were at on that. So do you have some numbers for us tonight?
Yep, I do. And yes, the plan will be to bring back some data to the committee members at our September meeting. So I'll do some updated market research as well as the usage statistics on our station. In July, the stations was used a total of 30 times. Total sales $143.08. Year to date, the station's been used 64 times and generated $465.65 in gross sales after subtracting the fees for the card processing and the software that runs the machines. That's $394 in revenues to the city. Estimate our direct costs of supplying the electricity at about $60. So the surplus to the city at this point would be about $333 to the positive side.
Now, how's the usage on I know initially the fast charger wasn't being used because of adapter issues or whatever there. Have more people used the fast charger? Or
let me just pull that up here real quick. The fast charger has now been used a total of 3 times. At our last report, it had only been used once. So, if you're looking at total usage in terms of like the number of minutes somebody's been hooked up, the fast charger represents about 5% of the total. So it's actually been used for a total of 97 minutes out of 5,435 minutes. The typical fast charger session is about, what do I do with it here? Oh, I don't think I have. Is only about 30 minutes.
Okay, on the fast
on
charger.
that, yeah. So it is getting used. It's gotten a little bit more use. The overall combined for the station, so the station has a total of 3 ports. 2 are the standard ports, one's the fast charger port. The running total, the average usage is about 85 minutes when somebody is hooked
Okay.
up. They're roughly about 1.4 hours. In July, that was down, so the average session length in July was 69 minutes, or about 1.1 hours.
Okay, and that may be reflective of somebody visiting town or whatever, charging, while they're doing something and then leaving, so, okay, just interesting on the time, all right.
Now, that $333 surplus, have we taken into account any administrative fees? Do we have to have a person physically go down and take the readings for you to get these numbers? Or
We
are they sent
don't.
to you electronically?
Yep, so we don't. The machines are basically keeping track of all of that. I am able to access the software that runs the machines, as are a couple folks in the auditor's office, to look at that. So I'm able to generate all of the usage reports from the software that's running the machine. So at this point, we've not had any physical labor associated with us either going down to take readings or to, check on the machines or anything like that at this point.
Okay, but there's still administrative costs, that's what I'm trying to get at here. And most administrative costs run between 3% and 7%. Is that calculated into that number?
It's not. I mean, at this point, the administrative cost is basically me running some reports and.
Well, you cost us a lot of money.
Well, no, so that's not in there, but,
Okay.
Okay.
I just didn't know how long it took for you to generate the reports and that kind of stuff.
well, so over the last couple months, I've kind of built a template that allows me to dump data in pretty quick and spit it out in good fashion, so not too long.
And that, the extra warranty with NOACA did go through for the full
It
5
did.
years, correct? Okay, so
Yep.
that's all in place now, okay.
Yep.
All right, sounds good. Then we'll go to we've got some recommended legislation here for a bucket truck for the electric department. Okay. Oh, go
You
ahead.
want to do that? I'm not for
Sure.
Truck.
So this was a budgeted expense. The electric department, one of the things that I have asked all service departments was try to get their actual vehicle requests that we budget for in early in the year. Unfortunately, the electric division was not able to do that because they actually had to go into a process to find the specific entity that they wanted to deal with, and Terex is their preferred provider. But then they also had to build their truck, I know Mr. Copley is familiar on the fire department side and the EMS side about speccing vehicles. They actually spec'd this vehicle, so it took them much longer in the year to spec the vehicle. But they were able to use a Sourcewell cooperative purchasing agreement to get going and maximize the best price on that. So that process took a little bit longer than I anticipated, and that's what brings us to today. This is one of their bucket trucks. It's a scheduled replacement of bucket trucks. I'm sorry I left my folder on my desk where I could tell you a little bit about the truck that they're replacing, but the electric department usually doesn't move through the process until they absolutely need to move through the process. If you are considering moving this to council, it is still going to take upwards of almost 2 years to get this truck. So long lead times for these orders, those kind of things. But they do anticipate that type of a lead in build time, so that's why they're coming to us now to try to get it authorized and move forward.
So based on that then, I mean, you do have the 2 readings down here with the recommendations. Do I see it? Okay,
The first reading and go from there.
okay, all right.
You don't know what year the truck is that's being replaced? That was going to be my only question. I mean, is it a 1985 or is it a 2000 or?
I'm
That's
sorry,
okay.
Mr.
That's
Collins,
okay.
I just don't recall it. It is a 2000 vintage, I believe, but I don't want to guess.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I just don't recall.
No problem. Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to place an ordinance authorizing the Director of Public Service to enter into a purchase agreement with Terex Utilities for the purchase of a bucket truck in an amount not to exceed $440,007 through participation in a Sourcewell cooperative purchase agreement with an emergency clause, and requested to go 2 readings.
All right, no further discussion on my end, so all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Same sign.
You got a second?
Yeah, okay, second.
motion.
Second that, and then we'll move on. All right. And all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, so we will move that on to council of the whole, all right? Next up is the fiber project update, and I know you've got some maps in here and some timelines for us of where we stand on that.
Yep, so the project continues. We've got about 2,800 homes ready for service. Fiber has been installed in 1,025 homes. 525 homes now have streaming TV, and we've completed drop connections to another 500 homes. So the drop connection is basically the connection from either the pole or the pedestal to the house that it's based on. So whenever we have an opportunity, we run those lines, because that's the more time-consuming piece of the installation. So if the drops are already in place, the installations can occur more quickly. Recently had laterals installed on Harmony, Cherry Hill, Holly Briar, Smoke Rise, Laverne, Park Center, splicing work on Good Orchard, Valley View, and Browse. Over the next couple of weeks, we'll see continued lateral work on Smoke Rise, Laverne, Park Center, Elm, Brookwood, Summit, Overlook. With splicing should be completed on Broad, East Fairview, Ohio Avenue, and Chestnut. Over the next couple of weeks, we'll see installations in Blooming Acres, the northern part of Tiburon Trace, and then installations in other open areas. So the timeline, the estimates that I provided in the agenda today show basically by year and quarter our estimates as to when certain areas will be ready for installation. But within each of those areas, you'll see that there are several sections where it says there's active installations occurring now. So installations are occurring in various places throughout the city. I would also mention that on our CityLink website, when you click on fiber, you can go to fiber locations, and there's a real-time updated map that really you can zoom into your street on and see what the status is in terms of, hey, it's ready for installations, or it's it's in the planning phase, or we're installing the aerial fiber or something there. So that's something that anybody, a citizen, can use to go in and zero in right on their neighborhood and street and house. That's probably the update.
I got a question. I see, when I got this map late this afternoon, first thing I went to, because Clark Road is completely flagged on both sides. I mean, we got more flags up there than Woodland has tombstones. And I've had several of the neighbors ask me, how long are those flags going to be there? Because they're mowing around them and this and that. And I says, I'll ask the question. We just happen to have a meeting. So, I mean,
I don't know the answer to that, but I'll get the answer.
they're up there working, I know, on Great Oaks Trail, but all of Clark is flagged on both sides. So, they just wanted to know. And now I see that it's not till the second quarter of 2026. So are those flags going to be there until the second quarter of 2026?
There are flags.
Oh, yeah.
There are flags. Let me look into that and report back.
Well, some of those-
Something's not jiving. That's what I'm saying.
Are some of those with some of the water, or the other survey work that's being done too, correct?
Well, there is some survey work also, I think, in your ward, Mr. Cobby, that's being done by Frontier, actually.
Yeah,
So-
but
so
I
I'm
haven't
not
seen any
sure-
Frontier trucks in the area whatsoever. It's all been CityLink
Is
and
there?
Mid-Ohio. And
Is Frontier's using subs too, like a Maztec and?
I haven't seen a Maztec
Oh,
truck.
yeah, so there might be, in addition, Mike, I don't know if you know this, for the water, meter.
There's no water lines, Mark.
Is there
None.
none of that?
No,
No
I
blue
don't think
flags.
they would have anything. So I'll look
So I
into it
assume
and
it's
find out
fiber
what's
because they're
going
not
on.
going as
Got
deep
it.
as the water. Because there's no blue flags on either side of the street.
Just to make sure that it's clear, the flags are identifying existing utilities for, it could be any project.
Right.
So it doesn't necessarily tell you what kind of project it is.
Well, I just assumed it was a fiber project.
Yeah, which makes
Because
it
they're
harder to
pushing the
know.
orange conduit underneath, with the boring machine and everything, so.
It's likely, but I mean, it's hard because you
Yeah.
wish you'd have a little project name on the flag, but we don't have that.
No. Okay. No, I told him I'd ask the question.
Yep, and I'll get you an answer.
There is an expiration, I know, the lawyer in me knows, you know, when you put an oops flag out, it's not supposed to last for a period of time until another year, those kind of things. There's only a period of time in which it's viable to be there, and then actually it can be removed. We're not asking people to do that, but there is a time period, I just don't know it off the top of my head. I want to say it's upwards of 4 months, but I don't know that.
Yeah.
Well, I know Mr. Test, you had checked for me because there were some people over by me that were asking about the flags, and you had checked and they said, it's fine, they're done, you can remove them. So kind of spread the word with the neighbors that you can take them off, because you're right, they're trying to mow around them.
They're trying to mow around
and
them.
eventually after 3 or 4 months, you know, realistically, if you move it to mow it, every time you put it back, I mean, it might not be in the same exact spot. I mean, especially if a kid's doing it, or, you know, that kind of a thing. So yeah, all right.
I was told by one of the contractors that the flag is only 3 foot. There's a
Right.
3 foot area that, you know, it may be in.
Yeah, because the oops action talks about a 3-foot variance based upon where it might be found.
Yep. Which I never knew that. I thought when they use those machines, it, you know.
Pretty accurate. That is
Pretty
right
accurate.
there,
But
yeah.
no, it's 3 foot. That's
I
what they
think
told
most
me.
of the time they are, but they use that variance.
All right.
Yeah, so when they hit a gas line or something, it's not my fault.
I told you it's 3.
Yeah.
All right, if nothing else on the fiber, then we'll move on to cable rate discussion. I know that we had chatted, and I think you have a little thing to throw up on the screen up here, maybe to answer
Yep.
some questions, and that way any of the citizens that might want to watch can see some of the rates up here and kind of get an idea of where those are at and what they will be once the fiber is installed.
Yep. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So one thing I'll clarify at this point. So you can, if fiber is not in your area, you can still switch to streaming TV now, because our guys say, you know, there's not enough of a load. So you would experience like buffering problems or slow, you know, where it's stop and go on the screen. So folks can do that even if fiber is not in their area. So we talked about this over our last couple of meetings. We've not raised cable TV rates in a while. It's been, I think, since 2018, 2019 was the last time that we increased rates. But unfortunately, you know, the cost of content has gone up pretty significantly. So we've seen, you know, during that same period, our cost of providing the programming, meaning the content itself from ESPN, from Disney, from whoever the providers are, is up about 177%. So the cable TV services that we offer, we're typically losing money each month on each subscriber. So the proposed pricing does not put us back in the black. In other words, it's just the increases are designed to cut our loss, but really not make a profit on this. And the logic behind that is that, you know, we don't want to increase rates, so we would either be out of line with competitors or do anything that would cause folks to say, well, you know, I want to leave CityLink altogether, and, you know, I'm not going to switch to, you know, streaming until I have fiber internet or whatever. So so there was a lot of thinking that went into the rates. They weren't random. I will point out that you know, the largest increase, and these would be on the top of the line packages, is $15 a month. But I know you had mentioned, Mr. Stugmeyer, that, you know, someone had made a comment about, hey, my bill's going up to $150 or $160. That would not be the case. I mean, our largest, our most expensive package is only going to, with the rate increase, be $119. Now, it's, you know, maybe that person was talking about, hey, I've got every movie channel.
Yeah,
this and
yeah,
that.
it could be some
But
additions.
the packages of those channels is only going up $3. So the rates that you see on the screen now, these would be the proposed rate adjustments for Wadsworth residents. And I'm going to scroll down just so you can see what the proposed rate adjustments would be for non residents. Not a significant increase. I think the goal was to say, okay, whatever the rate increase is for our residents, maybe another 30%, or depending on the package, 25% or 30% of that increase would be tacked on to non-residents. And then this third table that you see here, these would be the rates of the streaming packages. So you can see, as an example, the premium package, that would be $119, with all these movie channels actually goes down, and that's pretty common. And the reason that we can do that is because the cost of content under a streaming platform is significantly less to the city than the cost is through the cable network. And really, you're seeing the Spectrums of the world and everyone else are getting out of cable as well, and they're switching to the streaming product for that very reason. So I wanted to throw these up there. I know, Mr. Stugmeyer, you asked that we put something on the screen so folks at home can see this and have a better understanding of what the rates would be.
So then, after the full fiber is installed, bottom line is there will just be 4 choices: basic, core, core plus, and premium, and that will take care of all the services. And again, you do the simple math and looking, those prices will actually come down.
Yeah, so each month we have fewer cable subscribers. Cable's going down and streaming is going up, which it's designed to do that. So, yep, that's correct.
But then too, if someone in the meantime, before they're hooked up to fiber, if whatever they happen to have, if it is maybe a little bit too much of an increase, since everyone's not on it, the bandwidth is still there. They could switch over currently to streaming with these new prices.
Yep, that's correct.
Okay. Until the fiber's put in. Okay. So they do have options here of. Okay.
So they wouldn't have the fiber internet, but
correct.
They could go to the streaming TV product.
Right. Okay. All right.
But you still have to have the internet product. That's what I tried to explain to a person. That these increases are not internet increases. These are cable TV increases.
That's correct.
You still have to have the internet package before you can have any of these packages.
Well, you would still have your cable internet, but it could feed the streaming product.
But the pricing for the cable, okay, is $89 a month, $59 a month, whatever it is. You have to put that on top of these prices. This is not what you're getting TV for.
So, and I will say, if you look at our prices, and I actually do update, our analysis of competitor prices, typically during, a couple times a year, but most recently just within the last month or so as we work on the budgets. Our competitors have actually raised their prices a little bit since last year, so we're an even better deal. Which, that was our intent. I mean, that's a lot of the reason for going to fiber, in addition to just the, more bandwidth and things are faster, is it's also a less costly network to maintain.
Because isn't the fiber 500 gigabyte is like $59 a month or something like that?
Yeah, I'd have to.
And then to go to the 1,000 or something like that, wasn't it $89.99 or something like that for us? Because that's what I was trying to explain to the person.
You still have to have the right.
You still have to have.
These are the choices you have. If you don't do any of this, you don't have to pay any of this, but you would still have, if you need the internet, you still have those other costs, right?
I just didn't want people calling down there and say, well, they said that it's $110 a month. No, that's not. That's not 100%.
So what we're talking about here, the data in the tables that we're showing, is specific to the TV, cable
Strictly
TV product
right.
and streaming product.
I just want to make sure people understand that.
Yep.
Okay, all right. Any other questions, Ann?
I just have a question, because Mr. Testa happened to be off. I think at our last council meeting, or maybe it was 2 council meetings ago, there was some comments made in the other portion of the meeting about some of the council members getting questions or concerns about the rate proposal, I think. Have we addressed those concerns to date? I just wanted to make sure, and I did not, I know Mr. Testa was not present.
No, the
so I wanted to make sure
one concern I had was resident, non-resident. Looks like that's been addressed very well now. It makes sense.
Okay, all right, well, thank you, appreciate that. Let's see here, the next up is anything that you would like to point out on the monthly reports? I mean, I know you provide them. Is there anything that you want to highlight or?
Yep, so I'll provide a brief update on the water meter improvement project.
Oh, okay, yeah.
First, really, it's an end-point project. The end point is a piece of the system that basically transmits the reads, and that's really what's being replaced, so it's not the water meters themselves. Our water meter upgrade project, which is what we're calling the endpoint project, it began on July 14th, so we're a little under a full month here, and the contractor has completed 1,483 installations to date. So they're doing somewhere between 80 and 90 a day, and our target that we specified as part of the project was to do at least 1,000 a month, so they're exceeding that. The endpoint installation, again, this is work that's done outside of the house, and it's relatively quick work. It's basically disconnecting and putting a new self-contained unit in and hooking it back up. There may be an occasion where something else with the system is wrong, but I would say that would be a very small minority. So far we're pleased with the work that they're doing. We've also instructed, and they've done an okay job with this. Our contractors need to wear their yellow safety vest. They need to carry a city-issued ID badge. They need to have, authorized contractor magnets on their vehicles. And I would encourage, anybody that has a question about work being done can contact our utility billing office at 335-2700 to ask those questions. But the company doing it, NECO, which is the Neptune Equipment Company, they've been around for decades. They're a very reputable contractor, and they're one of the biggest players in the water meter market. So far we've been happy with the progress they've made.
And the initial ones that they were going out were the ones that we were just estimating that were out. Those are
Yeah.
the first ones that they
Well,
were going to try and do?
Yeah, so they decided that, they're going to hit the routes that have, and work in a route, but they're going to sort the routes by the ones that have the most out and address those first as that part of the route. So the goal is to get the largest number of ones that we've had to estimate readings on and address those first. But I would expect within the first few months we'll have tackled most of those, because it's only a percentage of the most of our meters and endpoints are still working fine.
Okay. And total time on this project was about 3?
We estimated 12 to 18 months.
Yeah, okay.
But at this rate, if they keep up the 1,000 or 1,500 a month, I would expect it to be possibly 10 to 12 months.
Mm-hmm. About a year. Okay. All right. Sounds good. And then anything in the monthly reports that you want to highlight?
No,
Okay.
just those are our standard reports.
Yep.
The first one provides just kind of an update of things that the electric department's been doing. The second one provides just kind of the subscriber updates for CityLink. But nothing unusual, the same reports that I make available just to keep you guys up to date.
Thank you. Anything else, Mr. Copley?
No, sir.
Okay, well, our next meeting date will be September the 9th, 2025, 5:30 here in council chambers. So is there anything else, administration, that we want to bring up? All right.
Nothing for me.
Make
I
motion
make a
to
motion
adjourn.
to adjourn.
Okay, motion to adjourn, and time is 5:22.
You are watching WCTV, Wadsworth Community Television.